Coca-Cola is available in more than 200 countries, and in 2013 alone, every single day, people were gulping down over 1.8 billion servings of Coke's drinks. That's a lot of refreshments going around. Fast forward to 2018, and Coca-Cola found itself at the 87th spot on the Fortune 500 list, which is pretty impressive for a company that's all about beverages. And here's the cherry on top. According to a study by Interbrand in 2020, Coca-Cola was considered the sixth most valuable brand in the world. All these stats may seem pretty impressive, but there is a dark side to this story, and I'll be explaining it all in just a bit. So, before we get started, welcome to Tales of Titans, the place where business and history come to life. So, let's look into the dark secrets behind Coca-Cola. In the 1800s, there was once a renowned physicist named Dr. John Pemberton. When the American Civil War erupted, he swapped his lab coat for a military uniform and went off to fight. During a battle, he was severely injured and given a powerful drug to help him through his final hours. But he survived against all odds, and this brush with death inspired him to create something monumental. That's where our story kicks off in 1886, when Pemberton was already a big name in Atlanta, but behind the scenes, he was battling a morphine addiction, which was the same leftover from his war injuries. Desperate for a solution, he got inspired by Vin Mariani, a drink made from coca leaves and red wine touted to cure any sickness. Pemberton decided to make his own version with coca leaves, red wine, and cola nuts, calling it Pemberton's French Wine Coca. Just as Pemberton's concoction hit the market, he started tinkering with a new idea. He cooked up a secret syrup that tasted pretty good. So he brought it over to Jacob's Pharmacy, where they mixed it with plain water and sold it for 5 cents a glass. By then, a fortunate accident happened. The syrup got mixed with carbonated water and served over ice. The customer who tried it couldn't get enough, and just like that, a new sensation was born. Following this success, Pemberton's bookkeeper, Frank Robinson, pitched the idea of renaming it to Coca-Cola. Pemberton ran with it, and thus, the drink we know and love was launched. Now, back in the 1880s, Coca-Cola was this exciting new drink that boasted the energizing effects of the coca plant and cola nuts. Interestingly, nobody batted an eye over the cocaine content in those days, especially since the alcohol was removed, making it a non-alcoholic tonic that could still be marketed. However, there was a catch. Not many people were actually buying it. The creator, John Pemberton, was all in on promoting it as a medicinal beverage, even advertising it as this amazing, headache-relieving, mood-lifting brain tonic. But while he was doing all this, Pemberton's health was on the decline. His pain and addiction were escalating, and by 1888 he sadly passed away, unaware of the global phenomenon his creation was about to become. But that's when Asa Candler, a stakeholder with his eyes set on the prize, decided it was time to take the reins and own the whole Coca-Cola idea. Now, as soon as Candler caught wind of Dr. Pemberton's passing, he didn't waste a minute. He made a beeline for Charlie, aiming to snag the exclusive rights to the Coca-Cola name. It's rumored that during the funeral of John Pemberton, Candler approached Charlie's mother, laying down $300 right then and there for the rights to the name. In a book penned by Candler's son, Charles Howard Candler, in 1950, he spills the beans on how Candler clinched sole ownership of Coca-Cola by August 30th, 1888. He made it official, splashing the news on letterheads, invoices, and ads. That pivotal moment on August 30th marked the start of Candler calling the shots at Coca-Cola. It wasn't just a handshake deal. Candler made it all legit by settling a $1,000 payment with Margaret Dozier and her brother, Woolfolk Walker. They agreed on a plan for Candler to pay this off gradually. By the time May 1st, 1889 rolled around, he was proudly claiming the throne of Coca-Cola ownership. When you tally it all up, Candler's venture into the Coca-Cola business cost him a cool $2,300 over the years. But there's a bit of mystery here, as some later investigations hinted at possible forgeries in his buyouts. And on top of that, Candler even went as far as burning the company's early records, likely to erase any evidence of his maneuvers. But by the 1890s, none of that mattered because Candler was firmly at the helm of Coca-Cola, which, by the way, wasn't all that popular initially. To change this, Candler flooded the town with Coca-Cola ads, but it quickly became apparent that marketing it as a medicinal product wasn't the right move. So they shifted gears, promoting Coca-Cola as a delicious, refreshing beverage for everyone, not just the sick. And about Coca-Cola's biggest secret, their so-called secret formula that's supposedly locked away for dramatic effect, well, it's not that much of a secret. You can even find it on Wikipedia. The truth is, Coca-Cola's success isn't just about the formula, it's about the brand. You might replicate the drink, but competing with Coca-Cola's legacy, that's a whole different ballgame. Oh, and one more thing. Like many companies, Coca-Cola has conducted animal testing over the years. It's a practice that's been pretty common across hundreds of thousands of companies, and Coca-Cola was part of that list. But there is a darker side to all of this, it turns out. Coca-Cola actually paid scientists to say Coke was healthy. I mean, everyone knows Coke is loaded with sugar, and even the diet versions aren't exactly great for your health. So what was Coca-Cola's strategy to deal with all the negative press? They decided to shift the blame for any weight gain or obesity issues away from their drinks and onto a lack of exercise. They rounded up some influential experts and got them to talk up the benefits of Coke everywhere, telling Americans to worry less about what they eat and more about moving their bodies. They even went as far as to claim that there's no evidence Coca-Cola contributes to weight gain. But then, in 2015, the truth came out. Coca-Cola had been funding the Global Energy Balance Network with millions of dollars. Health experts not tied to Coca-Cola were appalled, especially since the company was trying to downplay the serious health risks of its products. And Coca-Cola didn't stop there. They've been accused of funding research that claims their drinks are not harmful despite not learning their lesson. They even faced a lawsuit over their vitamin water, claiming it was a healthier option than soda and could reduce risk of chronic diseases and promote healthy joints despite it containing 33 grams of sugar. Coca-Cola spends billions on advertising each year, selling not just a drink, but an idea of happiness, harmony, and togetherness. Yet beneath this facade, there are numerous serious accusations against them, including causing diseases, droughts, and exploitation. It's a lot to think about beyond just a can of soda. For example, back in July 2001, Coca-Cola found itself in hot water when it was accused of hiring some far-right death squads in Colombia to go after workers at their bottling plant who were trying to form unions. These workers were allegedly kidnapped, tortured, and even killed because of their efforts to unionize. This serious accusation came from a lawsuit filed against Coca-Cola in Miami by Sinaltrañal, a union for food and beverage workers in Colombia. They claimed that Coca-Cola had a hand in hiring or directing these paramilitary forces to silence the union leaders through violence. This whole situation caused a lot of attention worldwide, sparking boycotts against Coca-Cola in several countries, like the UK, US, Germany, Italy, and Australia. People were outraged and wanted to pressure Coca-Cola to address the harm and suffering that the union members faced. However, Coca-Cola, speaking from its headquarters in Atlanta, outright denied any involvement in these human rights abuses. A spokesperson for the company, Rafael Fernandez Quiros, made it clear that Coca-Cola doesn't have direct control over the bottling plants, dismissing the accusations of any ties to the violence against union workers. But if we talk about Coca-Cola nowadays, it has pretty much become the epitome of American culture and has become something of a national icon. Believe it or not, it's the second most recognizable brand globally, sitting just behind Nike. And you have to give Robert W. Woodruff, Ernest's son, some credit because he really pushed Coca-Cola onto the world stage, making it a household name across the globe. That's why Coca-Cola isn't just a drink, it's a piece of history that dates back to the late 19th century. Its reach and popularity have only grown over the years, making it a beloved beverage in countless countries around the world. Its long-standing history and widespread appeal make it one of the most recognized and enjoyed soft drinks on the planet. And that's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed today's video. To view more amazing content, click on the video being shown on your screen right now.